There are two issues that are very important to me. One is copyright. Since I wrote two books, I support that. However, copyright also means the ability to quote a section to make a point separate from what the book was about. And the quotes I'm making are from video clips, one about health and the other about truth. In this case, the movie was A Few Good Men. In all cases, I quote the source, and that was from clips. I declare that I'm not violating any copyright regulation because I don't make any money, I don't take any money from them, and I give them reference to the source and ask them to look at the source itself. I'm not taking anything from them. The last clip I made was to make this point that truth is a matter of definition. And in the case of the the Colonel Jessup was explaining why truth was truth by how he explained it, understood it. And in many ways, a profession is like that. You don't tell a person the complete story because they're not going to understand it. And it's a waste of time to even attempt to explain anything at all about the possibility of prevention when you're 20, 30. So I'm afraid that's optometry. It's a fib. And Colonel Jessup was telling a fib. But he explained it as, you won't understand the truth. You can't handle the truth. In the case of the eye's dynamic behavior, you're not going to understand why prevention is necessary when you still have 20/20, because you can't handle it. So YouTube handles various videos by giving you what they call a strike, a copyright strike. And I object to that. I understand, I accept it, but I'm using a video to make a critical point that sometimes in our life we don't tell the truth because it's not convenient and they don't think a person will understand it. So where is the obligation to tell scientific truth? Now, my highest respect is for optometrists, providing you understand that the public does not want prevention. Absolutely not. And you tell the parents about this, you talk to it, and you'll get that's not it. I don't want to be bothered with it. Oh, my child wouldn't do that, and so forth, and that doesn't matter. And why are you asking that question? And why don't you cure yourself, doctor? And you're saying you're not understanding any point at all. So my interest was in college because I figured that I probably wiped my vision out by my habits as a child. Today, I'm absolutely certain. I regret what I did. I'm the person responsible, and if I could, I would not have done it. But that's not the way life is. I also figured in college from the submariners that they went in with 20/20 positive refractive state, and they did this for a while, and their refractive state became completely normal, but negative. And in that case, that defined situation, you could probably prevent it, but nobody does anything because the submariner would be wearing a plus lens when he was in the submarine. And of course, everything would be clear because the eye has enough flexibility to have 20/20 even when the refractive slate is slightly negative. So he has not lost anything, except the submariner would not want to do that because it doesn't look nice or it looks strange. So I have 20/20, I'm wearing a plus lens. That's engineering science, not medicine. So that's what we got. Fortunately, I was on vacation and could visit a Dr. Rafelson. Sometimes what you're taught very heavily is totally wrong. It's virtually impossible to make a 180-degree change and recognize that what you were taught was simplistic but wrong. So Rafelson had that visualization. Of course, it didn't help him. Doesn't help selling glasses. And for the public, he's making a living selling glasses, and you don't ask questions, and you don't discuss it. And this is Colonel Jessup saying, I have such a strong job that you're not going to understand, so I'm not going to explain. So Rafelson spent about 30 years doing research, perhaps subjective opinions. He had doubts about the minus lens, but he had no doubt but he'd have to use it on everyone, and it's been used on everyone for the last 120 years. Good or bad, don't know. So what I talk is basically about Rafelson's insights. He didn't make any money doing it. He wrote books, pamphlets, and he got exactly 0 results, except for his own kids. He kept their eyes at 20 inches and wearing a plus. Of course, they never entered nearsightedness, but somehow that doesn't count in science and in fact. If you understand the eyes are dynamic, then it makes sense, and that's success. But everybody else doesn't make any sense. And he did various things, but this is what impressive. You could read all day at 20 inches, minus 2 diopters, but you can't read all day and do that type of thing. There's absolutely no concerted effort to change that at all by any optometrist. They'll say they shouldn't do that, but they never tell you what the consequences are certain to be. You do this equivalent to the primate eye, and it changes its refractive state from plus 20/20 to minus 20/50. And you ought to fix it with a minus lens, and now you have staircase myopia induced by the minus lens. Of course, every optometrist in the world will deny that fundamental scientific truth. And then they'll say, well, yes, we have all this education and we tell you the truth. So that's my complaint about the optometrist or the strike. Yes, they can do it. I think they allow 3 strikes or something like that. I try and remove the video for a while if it has a strike. I wish there was a better way of handling it. I would write to these people and ask for permission to use that segment, but it's hard to do that. So I was not angry about this because I figured out I did it to myself. 100%, I did it to myself. I'm sorry I did it. If I could live my life again, I wouldn't do it the second time. But there's no second chance. Once you start wearing a minus lens, it's over for you. So read the Colonel Jessup. And being told by the optometrist when you ask questions, you can't handle the truth. And the reason you can't handle the truth is I have so much responsibility that I've got to do what I have to do. And I don't really have a requirement to tell you anything. You would not understand anyway. So why should I have that responsibility? ever. So I don't know how you'll take this. I blame myself. Kids do this. It's terrible. And they pay the price. But to deny it, to say to the all primate eyes that this does not happen, or we're not responsible, and you have to ask, well, who the hell actually is responsible for absolute scientific truth? Forgetting myopia, just the completely normal eye at birth. Put a minus on, see what happens. That's engineering science. Has nothing to do with any medical subject at all. If you could think that way, you might do better, but it'd be only prevention. Add your own commentary, and let me know what you think about this strike, or the copyright strike. Thank you.